It's always great to be able to get out and to meet people and see how they live and the challenges they're trying to meet in the world. It's rare. This question about how you're going to go about improving the nutrition and the food security of the planet, looking forward, how goes Africa really will determine how goes the world.
I really believe that the next 2 decades will really be Africa's time, and Africa will overcome these challenges.
I think everybody needs to get out of their comfort zone, to check some of your assumptions and to really appreciate what we have and ask ourselves, what is our responsibility, no matter who we are, farmer or anyone, what is our responsibility to help the people who are really struggling and in poverty?
This trip has been really beneficial for me because I've traveled to almost half of the African continent in the past. I've been to about 25 countries. And being with a company like Cargill on this trip has been really eye-opening because in the past, I haven't really seen a lot of what the industry and corporations are doing in Africa.
I think one thing that continues to amaze me is that it seems like a very simple process in terms of growing grain, harvesting it, and selling it or feeding it to your family. But the complexities involved with that, and then how do we get this to a whole different level to benefit eradicate poverty, but also to get the system to work better and all the things that need to work into place. And I think that's what the complexity around that is really what I'm continuing to be challenged by.
It was very interesting to see both large commercial farms in South Africa and then come to Zambia and see the smallholder farmer. And I'm a size neutral person, so I commend anybody, whatever size they are, if they can make a success. So we've talked this week about how to help the smallholder farmers, not to turn them into those big commercial farmers, but to give them the tools and the technologies so they can have a comparable commercial yield on the land that they do farm.
And I think in general, if you want to be able to feed the world and the 7 to 9 billion people by 2050, we are going to need all of those. I mean, it just can't be all small-scale farmers, and it can't all be commercial farms. And I think we're going to have a healthy blend of those.
Some of the entrepreneurs we met, I have never been more impressed by their passion and kind of business spirit. There is no question that they're going to find a way to succeed, and all they really need is just the support and the funding to allow them to achieve their goals.
I'm still skeptical about corporate involvement in developing countries, but I think the trip has been really eye-opening to see the other side and to really break down those silos. It's not a black and white issue, it's very gray, and all of us are working in different ways to try to solve it. And I love being able to see, all these different sides sort of not coming together, but really talking to one another, because without that dialogue, nothing will ever change.
It is so energizing to see those different perspectives and to see that everyone has got a desire and to get everything, to get things moved in the right direction. But they also recognize we're going to need to work together, and I think that's really the key point.
I think it's very clear that it will not be a very smooth journey. It will not happen overnight. It is something which will take time. The feeling which I take back from this experience is really one of optimism and one of sort of positivity. This experience further reinforces the fact that we need to stay the course in Africa.